right, everybody, welcome to another bonus edition of the Kendrick Shope Show. I have Andra Liemandt. Did I say it right? Liemandt?
You did.
All right, here with us today, and I'm telling you, Andra. I have a confession. When I found out about this opportunity yesterday, I said, I don't know if I can make this happen. I'm prepping for an event. There's a lot going on. I'm not sure. I picked my daughter up at 2:30. And so getting back, like all the excuses. And then there was this feeling in my body. And I can't describe it other than it just was like, stop, listen, watch. And so I was like, okay. And so I watched one of your videos and I was like, done. I will make the time. And so you are in for a treat, audience, because Andra is so multi-talented. But what we want to talk to her about is a project that she's got going on called the Kindness Campaign. And I was literally moved to tears this morning as I prepped for this interview, and I cannot wait to share it with my audience. So welcome to the show, Andra.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that is so special to hear about your, I think as busy people in this world, to know that you made space for me today and to know that it was a powerful moment for you to just accept that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Sometimes I get caught up in my own busy. I'm my own worst enemy, so let's jump in. What the heck is the Kindness Campaign?
Yeah. So, you know what? The Kindness Campaign, I just have to kind of tell you, 3 years ago, it didn't exist. And it started off from something that was pretty much a big tragedy in my life. And, something that today is something that I actually just don't go a day without thinking about why I do what I do. And a dear friend of mine, her daughter, at 12 years old, committed suicide due to bullying. And there may be some of your viewers out there that can relate to this. Mm-hmm. And it may be a parent out there that this happened to them. And it's devastating. And there are things about that I can tell you I have 2 daughters, and I hear, you have your own children, and it's something that you don't really know the path you're going to go on after that.
Yeah.
And the Kindness Campaign is something that evolved from that. So it is a program. It is an anti-bullying program, but I like to call it a program of hope, and something that is changing the way that we think, and actually giving tools to teachers and to students out there to really help create that emotional capacity for kids starting at a very young age, a pre-K 3. And that is kind of it in a nutshell of how it started. We started very, very young. It's a curriculum-based program to help really bring emotional tools into the school system to really arm our teachers and give them the tools they need to help those kids that maybe need that for, what's going on there.
Yeah. So, and I want to dive in a little bit to the curriculum and how that works, but let's think back to, first of all, I just want to honor the space of, you were affected by a tragedy that I can't imagine. Like, it's gut wrenching, and I'm sure even more gut wrenching for your friend. It's the worst possible scenario to ever be in, when you think about your child. And then what you have gone on and created has taken off like wildfire. It's getting national attention from people like Lady GAGA. Yes.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How cool is that in 3 years, someone with the platform of Lady GAGA has said, this is something I want to be involved in. Tell us about it.
So, and if I think about it too much, I actually get a little nervous. We, as a mom, trying to initially start, something to just connect with my own children, that was kind of the basis of what I started. It was a journal, and it was something that I just really wanted to help, provide something that I could have a back and forth tool with my daughters, that piloted in schools for 5 schools. and then took off. And now we're in 80 schools in Austin.
Amazing.
And servicing close to 83,000 kids, to now a platform 3 years later that's online, that is the Art of Kindness, that we launched with Lady GAGA's Born This Way Foundation just several months ago. And we have in talks with corporate America, with other organizations, wanting to bring this into their, to their businesses, and taking it from something that I really, really strongly believe in as a tool for kids, but even far beyond that, something that I think is needed all across all platforms, and everything we do is mind-blowing. And, to have the attention of someone like Lady Gaga help someone like me, who I, consider just a mom, who, say what you are doing is valuable and needed, is really something that I can't even wrap my brain around it, I believe.
Sure. I understand that completely. So this weekend, you are hosting or a huge event in Austin as part of South by Southwest, correct?
Yes.
And it's called the Kindness Palooza. Is that right?
Yes.
So tell us about, so first of all, and for those of you who are not in Austin or who don't know, South by Southwest, and Andra was educating me about this, is kind of, and correct me where I'm wrong, but kind of how Austin got its funky, cool vibe music reputation, if you will. And one of the things I've always heard about Austin is, and I've never been, you must come. It is such a fun place to visit. And then somebody always inevitably mentions music. And so this is sort of how it got its name. But South by Southwest, I saw it on, I think, CNN earlier this week, is just sort of blown up in a good way. It's now the movie industry is involved. We've got technology involved. We've got interactive involved. You were saying Elon Musk was just there. So it's a big deal, right?
It's so huge. And it's number one, it's an honor to get to be a part of South by. We're putting on an official South by Kindness Palooza event, and it is so crazy. We've got thousands of people coming by our event who are going to be exposed to something we're very proud of. So it's a huge event. It's the event itself is, I've been out every day learning, meeting people, talking with them, and collaborating. So it's a great place. If people don't know about it, they should come. It's very crowded.
Like all good things. The word has caught on.
Book your hotels.
Yeah.
So the event we are hosting is, I'd like to back up and tell you what a Kindness Palooza is and why we call it that.
Great.
Because one of the things that got the attention of Lady Gaga and her Born This Way Foundation was something that we launched 3 years ago as well, which is called our Magic Mirror. And the Magic Mirror is a part of our Kindness Palooza. We go into schools, and we call this our interactive component of the kindness campaign. So we have our curriculum, which is pre-K3 all the way through 5th grade. Then we have our Art of Kindness, which is taking a pledge and then doing online, getting online components to our kindness campaign. But then we have the interactive. Now the interactive is so exciting because we actually get to go into schools and be a part of something with the kids and interact with them. And it looks different depending where we are. We'll go into schools or we'll do something in the community. So in a school, it may look like we have an Enoughy Buddy puppet show. Enoughy Buddy's our main character in all of our curriculum. He's blue, and let me grab something.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can see this. This is actually
yes. Oh, and it's similar to the logo. Looks a little bit like for the kindness campaign, like that, right? Like the blue sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually an edible cookie. We'll bring these sometimes to some of our events. And the lady who makes these, Busy Mom Baking, is another mom entrepreneur, and she's awesome. I have to give her a shout out. She's incredible. She makes things like this. So, but we will have our live puppet show. We'll have our mascot, and so the kids are just blown away. They've been studying the curriculum, they see a Nuffy Buddy, but then they get to hear and meet a Nuffy Buddy. And so that's a really great piece of our Kindness Palooza. And then we have our magic mirror. And our magic mirror is, we have a video out that you can actually see out on YouTube. It's called The Mrs. Magic Mirror, and it's on YouTube.
I'll post it below for everybody. I've seen it. It's great.
Right. It's beautiful. It takes people on a journey. And what we do with the kids is we ask them one simple question. How do you feel when you look in the mirror? And what happens with the kids is they go on this journey. They actually put on headphones similar to what you have on. And it's this one-on-one experience through technology. But it's also a very personalized experience. So we get to talk with them, really let them open up. There's lots of data. I've got hundreds of thousands of kids, and actually we've taken in the community, seen women and men, and really helped kind of unearth what's happening out there in the community and how people really feel. How do they feel about themselves? So, and the experience for everyone that comes to the mirror is very, very positive, very uplifting. And the children always walk away feeling empowered and, feeling good about themselves. And that's the goal. And so there's also sometimes at some of the schools a music component where we allow for a musician to come in and perform. Sometimes my band will come and perform.
I was going to say, you're quite the musician as well. You have your own band called The Misses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about multi-talented woman. Where do you find the time?
Well, you know what? We squeeze it in while the kids are at school. I do everything I can while the kids are at school as much as possible. But yeah, so we have a lot to offer for our interactive component. And then if we're in the community, we have partners such as Kind Bars and Kendra Scott and Jewelry and there's tons of, I can't think of all of the ones that we have off the top of my head, but we have all these people that come together and they'll actually make kind activities to go along with whatever they're giving out or doing. And we bring a lot of people into the community. We'll have face painters. There'll be cookies like Busy Mom Baking. And so it even becomes bigger when we did something with Toyota recently, and it was this huge event, and there was balloon making and face painting, and so it just can get really big really fast. So for South by, that's what we're doing. We even have like a kindness seesaw. There'll be a seesaw there. It's like a kindness playground. We'll have our spokesperson. She's our Art of Kindness spokesperson. She'll be performing. We'll have 2 stages, and it's all about whoever steps into our space. We want them to leave feeling like they're enough, like they're beautiful, and really like they've been hugged so tightly by warmth and feel good about themselves. Because how often does that happen when you go somewhere?
Yeah, I am so in love with this, and I want to have a conversation with you offline after this about how we can bring this to the community where I live and also to my home community in Tennessee. But I want you to get through your event first. But I am sold. I am on board. I think that I can't even put words around how powerful I think this message is and how needed it is. But I'm curious for anybody watching who is thinking, I'm so moved by this. Like, I want to, do something like this. I want to create something like this, because my audience is full of people who just want to make the world a better place. Somehow, some way, they know in their heart, they know in their gut, they're meant to make the world a better place. What would you say the first step is? Let's say they've got their why, they know what they want to do, but then to create, to be able to do something similar to what you've been to do, to where you get national attention for it and you're able to have things like Kindness Palooza. What are the first couple of steps to get started?
I think the first step is, if you know what you want to do, for me personally, it's taking the first step, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I took the first step, and I didn't have a ton of resistance, and I kept getting a lot more feedback of this is the right direction.
Got it.
I'm not saying it wasn't hard.
Yeah, there's a big difference between resistance and hard, right? Yes.
Right. I kept getting the yeses that this is in, through prayer and through a lot of support through my team. Now I have a team. Before it was like me and another person. But yes, and my two daughters, right? Like, yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some steps to take are really, researching, finding out in your space, is this the right, where do I fit in this space? How unique is this in my space? There's a lot of kind of first steps for entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And for the kindness campaign, first and foremost for me was there's a lot of organizations out there that are doing kind things, and really kind of finding out what was the right thing and what was really needed out there in this space. And what I found when I met with and asking all the right questions, when I started this, and you have to remember, this wasn't something I said, gosh, I don't have enough things to do in my life and create a whole thing that's going to, take over, all of 80 schools, over 80 schools and growing. We have 40 requests nationwide for our curriculum. I can't even count. We had one today. I just saw it right before. We can't fulfill them all until we get, big funding, right? So
right. Okay.
We have so many. We're 3 years in. And the thing is, I would have never said, oh yeah, day one, I'm going to go set this up. The thing that you have to ask, and the thing that I did when I stepped in to a meeting with the assistant director of health for AISD, which is our Austin Independent School District, because I knew I had curriculum because somebody said, Andrew, you should talk with them. Mm-hmm. The question I asked was, after I created my product, I walked in, this isn't it, but this is what I love about you for my kids. Very sweet.
Oh.
Keep things like that on your desk first. Yes. But I walked in with it. I set it on the desk. We had a conversation, and I said, I designed this. This was my pilot program. Not having met you, not knowing your needs. Let me take a step back and ask you, what is it that you need in your district? What is it that is really needed in the schools? And they looked at me and they said, Andra, here are two big needs. One in four kids come into the school system having experienced some kind of trauma by the age of 3.
Crazy.
By the age of 3. And I kind of took a step back, not knowing any of this, just knowing that by 12, they're taking their own life and committing suicide. That's the second leading cause of death for teens, is committing suicide. Now, knowing that, and then they said at that age, they were having some diversity issues with people coming over from different countries, and they were having problems integrating them. Well, I didn't know enough about that space. Mm-hmm. So when I talked with them, they said this latter piece. And I looked at the curriculum I had built, and I had 2 months before school started. I looked at them and I said, I will bring you back something that addresses your pre-K 3, that's 3-year-old needs, by the time school starts. And that's when I designed the curriculum that is now now over 80 schools. And that's and then I went back and did bilingual, because they were like, over 50% of our schools speak Spanish. So the main thing I can tell you, anyone who's passionate about something that is their heart, their soul, and they want to do this, it's hard. You have to wake up and want to do it. You have to go to bed not being able to go to sleep because you are fighting for it, because you believe so hard in what you love that you can't sleep.
Yeah. And
you have to ask the questions. You have to say, does my product work for you? How can I make it meet the needs of my customer? And that is the first question.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So for anyone watching who is not in the Austin area or not going to be able to get to South by this weekend, but they are like me, stop, listen, watch, act, how can they get involved? So it breaks my heart when I hear you got 40 schools ready to put this in, and I'm willing to bet if more schools knew about it, I mean, you would have 40 million if that many exist, because what a wonderful campaign it is for, and now you've got corporations chiming in and wanting you to come do it for their employees. Of course you do. I mean, this movement is going to be around for as long as you want it to be around. I mean, this campaign is just, it is so what we need in this country as moms. I mean, it is so what we need, so what we need. But how can people get involved? So if they can't make it, they are moved, what's the first step for them?
The first step to get involved with the Kindness Campaign is there's an info at the Kindness Campaign, or tkckindness.org, which is our website. You can go online and there's a form you can fill out to say either, you want to get involved. That's the first piece. So there's ways to get involved. We actually had someone drive down from Utah to volunteer. I love it. Not everybody has to do that, although that was really awesome. You don't have to do that, but financially you can give. It's $2 for $2 a year to get the curriculum into the hands of students. I mean, it's super simple we can get the curriculum. We can sponsor other schools. If you want to bring the product to a district, we can look at doing that. If you're passionate about bringing it to your state, your school, we can do that. If you're very openly, I want this, I can find the funding for it, we can get it there. Okay. It's about, I guess, collaboration with us. We're needing that. We're needing people in different states to say, I want to be an advocate for you in my state, in my city, in my hometown. That's what we need.
Okay, fantastic. I am. You'll be hearing from me for sure. I'm so incredibly moved. Is there one thing that you want to leave our viewers, our listeners with, about this whole experience? If you want them to walk away with one thing, Andra, what would it be?
That the Kindness Campaign and really the reason I created was the fundamental belief that I am enough. You are enough. We are all here created to really wake up every day, and when you look in the mirror, to understand that you are created to be wonderful. And if we could all start with that foundation every morning, we can be kinder to one another. We can have empathy for one another. And that is the foundation of what we're teaching out there. And that is what we always want to leave people with, is that beauty that we see inside each and every person. And it's quite simple.
I agree. And, as someone who, like you and like a lot of our viewers and listeners, I love my daughter more than I can imagine loving anything. I mean, I don't even think I necessarily knew what love really was until I had her. I thought I knew. Not that I don't love my family, but when you have your own child, it's just different. And as I see her, she's 9, she'll be 10 in June. And as I see her begin to do, despite being in a house where she is filled with love and positivity and told she is more than enough every day, as I see those outside influences start to creep in, it breaks my heart. And I find myself at a loss. I find myself at a loss for what to do. And this just seems to plug that hole in a beautiful way. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, you know what? There are lots of ways we're trying to help that generation of kids who online, and we've got lots of avenues for them. That's what their Art of Kindness for online. So that she can join, take the pledge. As a mom I have a 9 and 11-year-old.
Okay. Yeah.
And I see what's happening online and these new tools we're creating for this new way of bullying that's happening out there. That is what we are really looking to seek to help. And that's what this new wave that we launched with Lady GAGA is all about. And it's about really helping moms and dads and all those caregivers out there that are feeling a little lost right now. And it's okay, because we're all in it together. Absolutely. And we are developing tools and ways to really help one another. I've got my Ask Andra Facebook's live that I do every Tuesday. And I'm doing, if your child feels lonely, here's some help. So I'm giving helpful hints to moms and things like that. I will be addressing some of the technology questions and some of that cyberbullying stuff. So there's a lot out there that we're trying to do and help, especially moms, you know, and dads that are struggling, and parents out there, even sisters, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with her?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Andra, I know that you took time away from planning this whole event this weekend. If you're in the Austin area, or if you can get to the Austin area, do yourself a favor, go check out Kindness Palooza. And I'm going to ask something of my audience. Every day, or nearly every day, I fill your Facebook feed, your email, our Facebook group with tips to help you do more of what you love, make an impact, make more money, and get more customers. Today, I have an ask of you, and that is to share this interview with one person, just one. If you want to share it with more, great, but do this for me. I believe in this as much as my hair is red. I know that kindness is the answer. And so I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and share this interview, because we need the word to get out. So the Kindness Campaign can get the funding it needs, can get the support that it needs. And so it gets in all of our schools, not just Texas. I love the great state of Texas, but I want this in Tennessee and Arkansas and New York and everywhere, because this has the power to change the world. So share it right now. Share it with somebody. Andra, thank you so much for being here, for fitting us in. Your work is amazing. I will be following up with your team personally. And I just want to say, you've restored my faith in so much just by meeting you and getting to know you in the last 48 hours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was such an opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Everybody, have a wonderful day. Share this interview now. Do it. Do it because you believe in a better world. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all soon.